Welcome to Channel 9 Fairfield Television. I'm Susan Kessel. We're here today at the Farmers Market. The Farmers Market takes place on Wednesdays from 3:30 until dusk, and on Saturdays from 7:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., May through October. There's always something to see at the Farmers Market, something for everyone. There's all kinds of events going on, lots of wonderful, delicious food from market to you, direct, bypassing the market from the producer to you. It's a great place to shop for really great food. We're going to take time and we're going to tour today. We're getting ready. They're having the Taste of Fairfield today, and we will walk around and talk to some of the people that are providing the food for that. So you want to visit the Farmers Market in Fairfield on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Today is Saturday morning and it's starting to pick up a little, so we'll walk around and... Okay, I said there were lots of things going on at the Farmers Market. Tell me what you're doing.
I'm peeling an apple so that people can sample our caramel sauce. They can dip it in there and get a taste.
Okay, these apple peelers are great.
Yes, it cuts it really quickly into lots of nice little slices.
Oh, is it a round, kind of spirally?
Yeah, but I usually split them in half for people. And then we use the organic milk from the Radiance Dairy to make our caramel sauce and organic sugar.
You have a real assortment here. You've got some soap. Is that handmade?
Yes, my mom makes the soap herself. And yeah, I make the jewelry, and Toby over here makes the pottery.
So you do the pottery?
Yeah, I did it, most of it I did in school when I was at MUM in ceramics class.
Very nice. Are you looking at going into pottery?
No, not really. I'm just, I've got a lot of it and I want to share it with other people because I like it and I think other people will like it too.
Yes, thank you. So as I said, we do have lots of variety at the Farmers Market, from jewelry and pottery. I saw some paintings coming up. We'll see soaps and samples before you buy something. And thank you for sharing.
Kind of inspired by Gourds. In the part of the Southwest, they use water growing seeds.
We're with our next vendor, and your name is?
I'm Dan Davis from Fairfield here.
And I recognize you from the Holiday Art Fair.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And,
So, where are you from?
oh, I'm from Fairfield, native here.
Great. And what are you selling?
These are gourds that we grew the gourds ourselves, and I carved designs in them. Some are wood burned, and most of the designs are based on Native American art, and some are original designs, and they're all hand carved.
They're wonderful, but I have to ask what this is.
This is sweetgrass. We grow it. The Native Americans, it goes way back. The Native Americans commonly used it to make things smell good. They'd hang it in their lodges. You can hang them in your house or your car. But as this is very fresh, we braided it last night. But as it dries out, you can burn it kind of like incense, and the smell smells still just like this, and it'll just permeate your house and it smells really good. But Native Americans have used it in ceremonies and prayers and purification and smudging for a long time. And a lot of people around here do too, use it for purification and prayers.
Oh, that has got to be a first for Fairfield. Have you seen this here before?
Sweetgrass and gourds? No.
No? Okay. A first for Fairfield at the Farmers Market. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, tell us your name.
Leila Heisel.
And what do you have here?
Hello, we had a lot of different vegetables. We have the bunch tomatoes, which look like bunch. And some people call them cluster. They look like little pears, but they're a very good treat. The kids even like them. And then we have the Roma tomatoes and your regular big boy. We have giant turnips and peppers, jalapeno, green, red, and banana. And new potatoes and extremely big cucumbers that look almost like a ball bat, and then the regular sized cucumbers. And the amazing thing about the big cucumbers, for the strain that they are, they're not mushy. You could take that and make a whole batch of bread and butter pickles, and they'd be great. They wouldn't be mushy at all.
And you raise all this yourself?
Yes, in my backyard. My husband does most of the planting, and I do this end of it.
Now, did you raise this for the farmer's market or for yourself?
Mainly for the farmer's market, but I do some stuff I keep for myself and 6 kids and 16 grandkids.
Wow.
So then we make some of the zucchini jam out of the zucchini bread, and the cinnamon rolls and angel food cake, and that's about it.
Oh, it looks yummy.
Yep. The only thing that I didn't make, I did write it, but not make it, is my book. So I'm selling my book too. It's Grandma's Bits of Wisdom.
Okay.
So
Wonderful. Well, thank you for helping make the farmer's market a real success here in Fairfield.
oh, I've loved it. I've been here now. This makes about a month. I didn't even really know that much about it. I started came on a Wednesday night first, and I really prefer the Saturdays because you get to see more people.
Yeah. More going on and more people can get out on Saturdays. Although Wednesdays, right in the middle of the week, if you need some fresh produce, is a wonderful time.
It is.
So
And it's an evening then. If it's very hot, it's a lot cooler for you then too. But I really like the Saturdays because even the kids come.
yes. Thank you.
Big cucumber.
Another person here at the farmer's market, Pamela Cole, that I recognize from Fairfield Art Association Holiday Art Fair.
Yes.
Yes. So how long have you been setting up your jewelry pieces here?
The end of June, around that. And then I went on 2 weeks vacation and then came back.
Now, you usually do more pottery from what I remember.
That was because I was a non-traditional student in Indian Hills, and so I had access to the art department. And I still do some art clay, but it's doing components for necklaces. And I don't have them up, but I can show you.
Oh, this is wonderful. So you can find everything at the farmer's market, everything from jewelry to something to eat. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, look at that. It's made with clay.
Yes, and in at Indian Hills, they make their own glazes, so that's unusual. So there's 2 different glazes here.
Tell me what this little bead is here. This,
That's
like a seed or something.
I don't know the name of it, but it comes from somewhere in the India somewhere, in the Himalayas. That's all I know.
Okay.
I found it at a secondhand store, and it was broken, and so it had a lot of neat
I've seen
textures.
antique pieces that are made
Yeah,
with that.
antique. So, and then I have.
Now these are new. I haven't seen these
yes,
before.
I just finished these this week.
Ooh, that's
And
gorgeous.
this glaze has, it looks sort of brownish, but it has sort of a green cast to it. And I decided that it needed some extra color, so I used glass beads and brass components. And so that's one of my other
Very
extra
nice.
things.
Very nice.
But I'm still using my clay and
Yes,
my
you're
and my
integrating that.
rose beads, yes.
Well, it's nice to have an assortment integrated into the farmer's market, so you get a real taste of Fairfield, which is what we're here to talk about today, the Taste of Fairfield. So you're getting some of the cultural things too. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, your name is?
I'm Ann Bosold.
And I recognize your name, but I didn't know that you did, this is quilting.
Yes, I make T-shirts that are decorated with quilt blocks.
And boy, some in here, this looks like tie-dye. Do you do that or is it bought?
No,
ready?
I buy these fabrics. Some of them are batiks, and I do foundation piecing, which allows me to be very exact. So all these corners match nicely. And this is a water lily, and this is a tulip. This is a calico cat, and I've got flags and lighthouses.
And another wonderful item at the farmer's market. So thank you very much, and thank you for joining the farmer's market. Are you here every time?
On Saturdays.
Saturdays.
I skip Wednesdays.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Do you care? Another vendor at the farmer's market, and your name is?
Valerie Gamble.
And are you here every time?
I come every Wednesday and every Saturday. I haven't missed one so far.
Well, congratulations. Well, first of all, you have a wonderful assortment of tomatoes. Can you tell us about some of the varieties?
Yes, as for example, those ones that are very low acid, those bright orange one that kind of got an elongated shape, they call Valencia. You got a pink one, for example, here. Those are heirloom tomatoes, and this one is called Brandywine. This is a little black one, which is more unusual in a way. A lot of people are not really used to that. They're kind of really ripe right now, even if they're kind of dark on the side, and they're called Niagas. And the seed come from Seed Savers Exchange in Decorah. It's a very old heirloom tomato.
I think my husband has grown some heirloom tomatoes, and they are very different. Are there different uses? You want to cook different things with them, right?
Yes, I mean, for example, this one wouldn't really be a really good cooking tomato, for example. You wouldn't think of making sauce with that, especially because of the color. They're just really good eaten fresh the way they are, you know. And you would more like cook, the one you would cook is more what you call paste tomatoes, is the one you would make the sauce with it.
Okay.
And for example, you have some tomatoes which I don't have here. For example, for sun drying tomatoes, you would use some that don't have a lot of juice in them. For example, you need for drying.
I'm going to have to tell my husband that because he's doing something in the oven and it is juice everywhere.
So the traditional one, for example, that they have in Italy for doing sun drying tomatoes that have a really good flavor and dry really easily, is called Principe Borghese. For example, if we would use a big juicy tomato to sun dry, which we've done before, we had about 18 pounds of tomatoes. We got 18 ounces of.
From 18 pounds to 18
because
ounces.
Because they've got so much juice that there's nothing left, and it takes about 3 or 4 days to sun dry them. It's not worth it. They're not sun drying tomatoes.
I will tell my husband that.
And all tomatoes are different for different uses. I mean, you know, if you make a tomato pie, for example, you don't want to use also very, very juicy tomatoes. You want to use like little Roma tomatoes that cook very fast. That won't give a lot of juice to your pie. A lot of things like that. You know.
So you sell them by the weight,
and you weigh for $1.50 a pound. Whatever tomatoes we sell. Apart from usually when we have some little cherry tomatoes, we sell them for more because it takes a long time to pick, and you know. And in the store they sold for a lot more money.
Now I noticed down here you've got some garlic.
Yeah, we have down here we have garlic and shallots. I mean, people don't always understand that you have different kinds of garlic and they're all different prices because. I mean, for example, the traditional garlic that you get in the store, let's say Hy-Vee, whatever, you know, traditional store, most of the time it's a garlic called California White, which is a very cheap seed. It's very pungent. It doesn't have a lot of taste, and it's the one you got. And a lot of people think it's the only garlic there is on the market. Like earlier on, I was telling a customer, he said, "Oh, I want some of your garlic." I said, "Fine." I just told him this garlic is called music.
Music.
Yeah, and he said, "I don't want any music. I want garlic." You know, and I was like telling him, you know. You got about 200 different kinds of garlic on the market, and they all got different tastes. Like, you know, not all tomatoes taste the same. Not all lettuce tastes the same. Not all garlic tastes the same, you know?
Right. Well, thank you. I think we just did an education lesson for our community here. And I'll let you get back to your customers.
And
thank you very much.
Have a good day. Bye.
Okay. In the center here at the farmers market, we have a little pavilion, and Jeffrey Hedquist right now is performing. He's a very well-known Fairfield artist, and we'll listen.
Behind your horizon, the moon your soul. I have traveled much too far to be turned away on this lonely day. You are feeling so afraid. Open up the door. Your walls are crashing in. Say it to me. You could look inside. See what you can find. Let it all unwind. To your blind. I can help release your pain. Undo all the bonds. Let you live
Yeah, do you have to worry about it? E. coli, that whole
Okay, we are entering the Taste of Fairfield area where they have tables set up, and you're ready, so I'm going to talk to you. What's your name?
Vera Rhodes.
Vera, tell us what you have. You have something in these wonderful pictures.
Okay, it's Lassi, local milk, and local roses from my garden, and cardamom flavoring, and stevia and treasure tea from the Amazon. Very nutritious.
Now tell me more about this. What
The
is
Lassi?
that? Yes.
The Lassi is like half liquid and half yogurt. And then you put in your sweetener and your cardamom and the rose petals. And you can just add as much as you want. Or
Rose petals?
Yes. You can either steep them a little bit in hot water or chop them up in the blender and put them in raw. Very good for the heart.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I said we're just going to start interviewing you and not even telling you. Bert Chanowski, what are you making?
We're making grilled chicken fajitas with grilled sweet corn salsa.
Ooh.
So all local ingredients. Everything's been donated by local gardeners, farms, and what have you. And it's really fun because we made something really special, and you can see it's really colorful.
It is. It's beautiful. So you brought your own grill?
Yep. Brought the own grill down. You know what the thing was? This group heard about some big fundraiser for the Civic Center, and we had some big smash success. And they said, "Oh, you've got to come down and cook for the farmers market."
It was. It was. Brought your own table. It's beautiful.
We brought
beautiful.
everything. So yeah, I think I've got enough food for about 200 people. So I hope 200 people will show up.
Great, and this is a fundraiser for?
It's a sustainable food coalition. It's the buy local, shop local, fresh local produce group. And so it's really support the farmers market too.
Okay, perfect. And I'll let you keep going because you're busy.
All right, thank you.
Right, your name is?
Carol Havelka.
And you're in line, they're in line waiting for the food to be uncovered, and you're here, and you've prepared all this yourself?
Yes, right. We grew the potatoes. There's potatoes and onions in there, and we grew them ourselves. And then the milk is from the Radiance Dairy.
Okay. Now you must be a good cook to be asked to participate.
Oh, I'm good at following recipes.
Oh, well, that's great. And let's take a little peek.
Oh, sure. There we go. Ooh. Scalloped potatoes, a great comfort food.
And what are under these little plates?
Well, the sign says, this. I didn't make these. It says roasted tomato roll-ups. I think John Freeberg made those.
Okay.
So.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So we have, I don't know how many tables. We'll talk to Mary Carter and find out exactly how many tables we have here. And but thank you very much for sharing.
Sure.
So we're just real close now. So the first thing I'd like to do is thank the people that made this possible with their generosity. And Radiance Dairy has been one of our great supporters all year, so we want to thank them. Everybody give them a big hand, please. Also, I feel we're very blessed in Fairfield to have their products. And I also want to thank everybody's for all their support. Thanks to everybody's. They let us use their dishes today, so we didn't have to use paper plates. So as you'll see, when you go through the line, you'll pick up your dish and your silverware and a cloth napkin. And then you'll see at the other end of the line, that's where your dirty dishes go. So please scrape your plate in the compost container and read the signs at the end of the line. And I also would like to thank Dave and Rita Smith for their chickens, their free-range chickens, and their pasture-raised beef for our event today. And also John Whitaker has also donated his free-range pork. So thank you to John. And another generous supporter this year has been Dean Goodale. What? I also would like to thank Dean Goodale and the Vedic Organic Greenhouse for all their generosity this year. Let's give them a big hand.
And by the way, those are free-range tomatoes.
Yes, free-range tomatoes. I'd like to thank our musicians, Jeffrey Hedquist and Francis Tickey, and now coming up is the Ron Dean Trio, and that consists of Ron Dean, Bill Blackmore, and Tom Banks. Thank you very much.
And in addition, Ed Raines.
And in addition, our special guest, Ed Raines. Thank you for the music. And the last group I'd like to thank are these chefs. And I feel like everyone's very fortunate to eat this food today. And to start, Diana Runyon. Diana, will you come here, please?
A blessing here before we partake of this food. To earth who gives to us this food, to sun who makes it ripe and good. To them we give our humble thanks. Blessings on this food.
Amen. Thank you. Okay, let's see. We also wanted everybody to know that this is a fundraiser, and we're asking for a minimum $6 donation, and you'll see that it's worth a lot more than that, so feel very generous today. Our goal is to make $600 for Buy Fresh, Buy Local. And also we have the recipe collection is available for $1. And we also, if you do decide you want to go back and get more food, you get to go through the line one time. And if you decide you want to go back for some special dish, it's $1 per entree. And the last thing, let's see. Oh, and we also have a suggestion bottle up at the beginning. So if you have any suggestions, this is our first time putting this on this event, so we're open to lots and lots of suggestions, please. So the last thing I'd like to say is that if you believe that local and fresh food is better, please support it by whenever you shop, always looking for local products, because it makes a tremendous difference in your local economics, directly in your environment. And thank you for everybody. Thanks for coming, be generous, and enjoy the food. And now Francis Tickey will speak to you for about 5 minutes. Thank you.
Mary for all the work she's done, not only today, but organizing the farmers market over the last months. She's really a dynamite spark plug here. And she's also had help from, among others, Brenda Pollock and Marie Silva. So we really appreciate that. Actually, they've gotten, they're really gaining steam here. There is in Iowa now what's called a Buy Fresh, Buy Local campaign. And it's picking up a lot of steam. And the idea is that if we buy more locally produced food, we have a lot of benefits. We have economic development benefits. We have benefits of better taste. We know one reason to buy local food is that it tastes better, and it's actually better for us. Vine ripened food, it has a better profile of nutrition, of vitamins and minerals, so it is better for us to have that freshly produced food. And the local initiative of Buy Local, Buy Fresh is being funded somewhat by the Practical Farmers of Iowa here. it's interesting. A while back, Governor Vilsack said he wanted to make Iowa the food capital of the world. And Neil Hamilton said, well, 80 to 90% of the food that we eat in Iowa comes from out of state. Why don't we make Iowa the food capital of Iowa first? So I thought that was pretty neat, because we don't think about that sort of thing usually. A friend of mine who sells at a farmer's market in Pennsylvania had mentioned recently that one of his customers came up and said, I bought a pint of blueberries. He had been selling blueberries. She said, I bought a pint of blueberries for $1 down at the local supermarket. And he thought, oh no, now she's going to rail on me about the price. And she said, but I'll never do it again. She said it had no taste. And I'm not against the supermarkets, but the average piece of food in Iowa travels 1,500 miles to get to your plate. And in that time, it's amazing what can happen to it. I was in Vancouver a couple of years ago and visited some greenhouses where they were packaging green tomatoes and for shipment, and they were just green as could be. And they were showing us some that had been sitting for about 10 days, and they were just starting to turn red. And they were very proud that they were still nice and firm, and they were going to ship really well yet. And you compare that to food that comes here to the farmer's market, and it's like less than a day old. And so the nutrition is a lot better. Now, some people ask, what about the cost? Mary said we should talk a little bit about that. I was at a conference a while back where somebody said, well, why can't we make organic food as cheap and local food as cheap as conventional food? And they were saying, well, maybe we need to get it down there. But I began to think, conventional food, conventional farmers are going out of business by the hundreds constantly. They're really going broke. And yet we want to try to get organic food to be cheap like conventional food. I think we have to rethink that. We have to think of what the real cost of food is. Because I think that when we buy this conventional food, that's only our first installment. When we go to the grocery store and buy it, we're not paying for the full cost of that food. We also pay for it in subsidies for the crop farmers that are many billions of dollars every year. Subsidies for transportation for that food to travel 1,500 miles. Subsidies for the military to get us fuel, fertilizers, pesticides. Then we have to turn around, and the next installment on that conventional cheap food is we got to pay to take the pesticides and the fertilizers back out of the water that we drink. Des Moines boasts of having the largest nitrate removal equipment in the world, and they have to take out the fertilizer nitrogen that is in the water before they can drink it. So these are all costs of food that we have to pay for. The dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico, now that's as large as Massachusetts. This is all a result of this conventional food that we get so cheaply. So we have to think about that. Healthcare costs. Obesity now is the #2 health concern in this country. It cost us $75 billion last year for obesity. And so we can see all these costs of our conventional food system. And I would say that our organic and locally produced food, although it may cost you more at the point of purchase, it actually is cheaper than the conventional food. We just don't externalize all these costs. And organic and local food is not just for yuppies anymore. People think it's only for the yuppies. A study was done recently that showed that for people making less than $12,500, when they surveyed them, 30% said they thought organic food, buying organic, was extremely important, even if it costs more. Compared to people making over $50,000, it was only 14% that thought organic or locally produced was very important. So I guess what I'm saying is that we need to support these local farmers, support the farmers market. The more we begin to build momentum, this critical mass, the more products we'll have here and the more successful the market will be. So enjoy your food.
Can you hear me over that? Okay. Okay, you're at the farmer's market in Fairfield. We have a Taste of Fairfield going on. You want to attend the farmer's markets on Wednesday evening and on Saturday morning. And it's a wonderful event. They always have something going on. Lots of food vendors, a variety of things to purchase. And what we have today is their special event, a Taste of Fairfield.
I asked 70. Because if you were going to go get your this thing, they're different, but the same.
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah, like a brick cut.
Right. Well, I'm one of these vegetarian types.
Okay, then you don't want to do little chicken in there. Okay. No, that's underneath the tomato roll-ups.
You want to let them take it themselves?
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm just intuitive.
That's good. What happened there?
Quick wedding.
Well, it only looks like that because the light's so slow.
Another 25 minutes. So you're going to out of the house.
They just like a minute ago they opened the line.
Nice.
By the time